I've got the most profitable and also the most expensive mining rig in the world right now, which means one of two things. I am either a genius or an idiot. And yeah, that's the sound of money, that's the sound of mining cryptocurrencies. We're here in my little garage, my little mini mining farm here. We're building out a way cooler mining farm, but it is just a lot more intense and involved than you would think in the beginning. But I make this video because, you know, on the topic of being a genius or an idiot, we gotta sit down, we gotta talk about the initial projections, basically where we were supposed to be and where we are and everything in between. Is this worth it, right? How are the numbers really playing out? Because what you're supposed to make versus what you actually make in passive income mining cryptocurrencies can be very different than really what you think it'll be. Oh, and by the way, my name is Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel, home of the cutest pup in the world. I've been mining cryptocurrency for years, and to be honest, it's been a life-changing experience. I wouldn't change getting into mining for anything. I love mining, it's so much fun, and to be honest, it's been super lucrative. But that doesn't mean that every mining rig has been the best time or the best investment. But just look at these miners. Would you just look at it? $72 a day. Are you not entertained? $72 a day. You understand? That's a lot of money. Let me get the handy dandy calculator out. And guess what? We're going to do 72 times 365, and that's going to be almost 27 grand. So let's say you had, I don't know, about 2 of these. You're making over 52 grand a year. That's much more than my old annual salary just a few, or we'll say several years ago now. And well, one, cryptocurrency is an incredible opportunity, not just to earn passive income mining and everything else like that, but basically everyone in crypto is hiring. And even if they're not hiring, I encourage you to get into the sector if you like this stuff at all. Start writing some articles, get connected, get engaged. You know, if you have an idea, bring it to market, right? You don't have to be a coder. Every project needs social media managers. You can join the VoskCoin video editing team and whatever else. But you know, I'll leave it at that, right? So the Goldshell KD6, it's been hashing away for a few days now. And you look at the chart, oh, it's been going down, and that hurts, that's painful. The KD6 mines on the Kadena algorithm. It's a variation of the Blake 2B mining algorithm, and it pushes out a whopping 29.2 terahash a second and a power consumption of 2,630 watts. Yeah, you're gonna need to watch the VoskCoin mining electricity guide to make sure you can set this up in your house and do it efficiently and safety. Don't worry, it's actually pretty simple and it's really not that expensive either. So Kadena has been trending down in price, which has been reducing the daily profitability. Okay, and so I set it up, right? So again, you know, I've had this thing, we had our day one review and overview and stuff like that, but so I grabbed the device, obviously take it out the box, put it on the shelf, plug in the power cord, plug in the Ethernet cord, which might as well just be called the internet cord, okay? And from there, I just log into it with right through my browser. What does that look like? Well, glad you asked. So I just go into my router, or I use an IP scanner like Fing or something like that. And from there, I get the device, and then I click unlock, and then I put in the password, which it tells you what the default password is, I think it's 1 through 9, or either 0 through 9. You click over, make sure you're on English, and then we're in. You can see the performance here. I click on the miner, and from here, I can add, change mining pools, and whatever else. So For example, if I want to go to DX Pool, which is the mining pool that I absolutely recommend. They do not sponsor the channel, but we do have a referral link, so please smash that down below. Support the channel if you decide to switch over. In all seriousness, the reason I switched over is because I had higher mining profitability on DX Pool than I was getting on F2 Pool, and they have just way better options and support. For example, KuCoin. You punch this in and then you put your username, worker name, password can be anything, 1, 2, 3. Also, if you're in the United States, it's better to have KDA/US.SS, as you can see in my top one right there, and you get a higher mining returns because you get less rejected shares, which means your effective mining pool hash rate is higher, and that's actually what you get paid off of or compensated from. So let's talk about where my mined coins are going. So I don't like to maintain a Kadena wallet. I'm tired of maintaining 29 different cryptocurrency wallets. I mine a lot of different coins. So I was mining my coins right into KuCoin, but then they paused deposits. And when that happens, you could lose your coins. It could be lost, and that's very bad news. So with a mining pool like F2 Pool, you can't just say like, hey, pause, right? Pause. Especially when you're dealing with their lower form of mining pool support where you don't have the account access. However, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about and why I think DX Pool is really cool. So clicking over to DX Pool and clicking on the wallet tab, from here we can see my Kadena, my KDA. And what I can do is I can just turn auto withdrawal off, right? So you just, click it on and off, and then it'll automatically be withdrawn every day. But just with the click of a button, I just start building up my Kadena on their pool. You don't want to leave your life savings in someone else's pocket, right? So if you're a long-term holder of Kadena, I implore you to fire up the Kadena wallet and maintain custody of all of your own coins. However, if you're looking to actively trade them and whatever else, you could be mining them into KuCoin. I recently tested a withdrawal from DX Pool to Bittrex, and you may be like, who's that old guy? I barely remember him. Yeah, so nobody cares about Bittrex anymore. Nobody uses Bittrex anymore, and the volume on Bittrex sucks. Bittrex kicked out a bunch of their US users, and even the international users really couldn't care less. Bittrex does, though, however, support Kadena KDA, and you can withdraw on-chain zero, which is what DX Pool supports because Kadena has multiple blockchains, to put it simply. You can withdraw your Kadena from DX Pool directly to your Bittrex wallet if you'd like to do so. I tested it. It works. So I can mine into KuCoin, I can mine into Bittrex, and those are going to be probably the best cryptocurrency exchanges that you can use if you're a US citizen. If you're not, you could use Binance, and you're going to have a good time. And honestly, Binance for kicking out US citizens and deleting my account. I lost some coins. And early user. I really don't like the way Binance operates on a lot of those kind of fronts. Binance Smart Chain is nice, right? BNB Smart Chain they call it now, just because it's like Ethereum but cheaper, significantly. But yeah, Binance, it's like a mafia, man. The CZ mafia they call it. So let's kind of get back on topic here. Let's look at my earnings. I switched Kadena miners right here, and this irregularity right here, I did add a different miner to this address momentarily. So we can see, hash rate is up with this miner, which is great. Love it. Awesome. And basically, I'm just going to take the number. You see it has been trending down as more Kadena miners come online. But I'm just going to take the number of about 17 Kadena KDA, which is lower than this estimation. So I actually think I'm estimating a little bit lower than I'm actually earning here. Again, for reference, you can see that I have just my KD6 hooked up to this. I'm currently testing a KD6 SE as well as a KD Box Pro, which is pretty cool that I can do this all under one main account, but I just make these sub accounts and I mine from there, which is going to help me get a lot more clear data for myself personally, as well as for these videos I'm making to just kind of recap my experience here on the VoskCoin YouTube channel, which you better subscribe to. The KD6 is very hard to get. Every time Goldshell sells these, they sell out so quickly. Full disclaimer, we did collaborate with Goldshell last year to bring a mini Doge miner to market, but as always with the VoskCoin YouTube channel, I'm here to bring you the truth. I'm not going to just be like, oh, all Goldshell miners are awesome and you should buy them all just because we had a cool opportunity with them that I'm super proud of. So at about 17 Kadena coins, Kadenas, a day, we're making about 62 bucks. Taking that number and branching out for like the last 10 days, it's about 170 obviously. That's about $615. That's a lot of money. It's, you know, 600 bucks a week. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Obviously, you know, I said 10 days and 7 days, a little bit of a difference. We're taking the number of 10 days here. Just to be very clear. Huge shout out to Big Sky ASICs for helping us get this KD6 miner. Without them, this video would not have been possible because it is so difficult to try to buy these directly from Goldshell. It is cheaper if you can, you know, manage to get in. Because Goldshell basically prices their stuff out where you're projected to break even in about a year. You'll notice most ASIC miner manufacturers do that. An ASIC miner is an application-specific integrated circuit miner. It's a purpose-built machine. All it does is mine cryptocurrency, specifically, normally like one coin or even more precise, one mining algorithm. So when you run all the numbers for all these different devices, normally they end up being about projected to break even in more or less a year, at least when they set their original prices. However, you pay duties, right? Taxes, import fees, and stuff like that, and resellers want to make a cut, and oftentimes resellers buy from other resellers. And before you know it, the price has definitely increased. So the good news is we have a coupon code, which you can click the link and punch in the code down in the video description below if you want to do so. No pressure from me. I'm not here to show you stuff. Do whatever you want to do.
Hey guys, it's Miss Vosk here to tell you about Meta World, which is a project that has created a virtual replica of the real world in the metaverse. In Meta World, users will be able to shop, attend events, and meet people using AR and VR technology. The project also has its own native currency, UMW token, which is available on PancakeSwap. The project's founder, Daniel Marinelli, recently gave a speech at Crypto WorldCon in Miami about their project and its goals. Check out the link in the video description below to learn more about Meta World. This is not financial advice.
So running the numbers a little bit further, $62 turns out to be $1,860 a month, and that's about 23 grand a year. Keep in mind we also have an electric price projected to be consuming about $7 a day or $2,600 a year, which gives us an awkwardly even 20 grand. So this is projected to basically make 20 grand after I pay my electric bill, which, depending on what you buy this for, puts you a little bit further away from breaking even than you'd probably like to be. However, what about Kadena? What about this coin it mines? Is this a coin we should be mining and dumping, or is this a coin we should be holding, or, you know, doing a mixture of both? So Kadena says build the future on Kadena. They want to empower builders for innovation. They have this huge grant program that they're bringing to market. It's a platform, smart contracts, multiple blockchains. They're supposed to be here for scalability, energy efficient, no cost transactions, and all that kind of stuff. When we run the search results comparing Kadena to these other miners, then we just take Goldshell for an example here, right? But they make CKB miners, Coin miners, Handshake, HNS miners, LB library coin miners, and so forth, right? Well, let's check out Google Trends. You know, I'm a data-driven guy and I look at the fundamentals. We can pull up TradingView, we can look at the charts, and we can say we're technical analysts and just bullshit, but that's all that is. These are fundamentals, son. These are factuals. Yeah. So when we look at this, we see that Kadena is so much more popular than the competitors or alternative options here for basically altcoin mining rigs, right? Nervos Network, Coin Library, Handshake, HNS. I'm not saying all these search terms are necessarily perfect, right? So Kadena is clearly leading very heavily, right? But is Kadena also something else? Well, when I search Kadena, I see Kadena's website as the #1 result, CoinMarketCap Kadena, Kadena's Twitter, and then we have the Kadena Airbase, which is obviously not the Kadena we're talking about. We have Kadena on CoinGecko, Kadena on Coinbase, Kadena on LinkedIn, which is the Kadena we're referencing here. And then we see Airbase, Crunchbase fundraising here, and then we see Kadena Airbase again as well. So my big takeaway is that we can basically take this as being relevant and accurate, and maybe we will go to Kadena in Brooklyn, New York, so we can hit up Pig Beach Barbecue, which I'll be honest, this sounds kind of good. I'm kind of hungry right now. But in all seriousness, my point here is just taking this as one example. This is much more heavily searched than the alternative mining rigs you can buy, which that alone, for me, is a little bit of a bullish factor. Looking at what they're supposed to be doing, I think that's cool, good, and all that. And here's kind of the kicker, is that they're pumping, right? They're dumping $100 million into their ecosystem to pump it up. Builders, right? Come here, build stuff. We will pay you. We will fund it. Let's make it happen. What do they want? Open source, gaming, metaverse, NFT, Web3, DeFi, DAOs, all welcome. That's very interesting. That's very intriguing, okay? And when you start just really fueling your ecosystem like that, you're bound to get a lot more projects, because why would I build over here for free when I could get funded to build on this chain, right? Especially if you don't have any kind of community or following or, track record. What a great opportunity this would be if you can successfully sell them on your pitch. So I'm pretty curious and excited to see where exactly Kadena can go from here. As a follow-up to our initial video here, we were making about 17.5 Kadena a day, and that came out to $95 a day because Kadena was trading for about $2 more a coin. It's pulled back heavily just in a couple weeks. Welcome to crypto mining. That's the biggest impact and influence here. You look at the market, it's very red. Bitcoin's taking a dippity dip, and it hurts. Probably since I pulled these Kadena's down further. Actually, it's not. Kadena's slightly up. For reference, Kadena's trading at about 14% less than it was just 24 hours ago. And yeah, that sucks as a Kadena miner, to put it simply. And that is really the major impact on this mining profitability, because if I'm making solid 17 Kadena, that's not a far cry from the 17.5. That I did not lose $30 a day based on half a Kadena when it was trading around $5. That's just kind of the way it goes, unfortunately. But just as easily as cryptocurrencies go down, they can also go up, and we would all be rejoicing, cheering, and dancing if Kadena had doubled in price. It traded at almost $30 a coin not too long ago. But is the outlook for cryptocurrency in the short term super positive? Honestly, I don't think so. But long term, I'm stupid bullish, because we're going to have another bull cycle. Your boy's going to be there, and my bags are going to be heavy. My bags with projects that are building, with projects that are putting millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, hopefully, into their ecosystems. So it's not financial advice. I'm not here to show stuff or push anything on you. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just trying to have fun and bring you real world data, mining profitability results, and just kind of document my experiences here in this crazy crypto journey. After recording this video, unfortunately, Kadena has continued trending down. So the mining profitability and some of the numbers that I break down in this video have changed. That's why you should always check real-time, up-to-date numbers and compare them with my real-world mining profitability. Furthermore, the amount of Kadena KDA I'm mining is about the same, but that dollar amount is not. It's less because Kadena is trading at a lower USD price point. Long term, I'm still excited. Short term, I'm getting turbo nuked. Welcome to crypto. As always, remember, never invest money into crypto or miners that you need. But hey, I'm just a Doge dad. Even that's not financial advice. Again, my name's... Oh, that was a little bit harder than I wanted to. My name's Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I'll do some more content on the KD6. Also, the KD6 SE, which is basically a worse version of the KD6, but you should still be intrigued by it. And the KD Box Pro, which is a mini version of the KD6, which is, in my opinion, actually way cooler, but not as profitable. All the things we'll break down in those future videos. As always, thanks again for watching. It's crazy. VoskCoin we just past 5 years. That's nuts. That's nuts. We're nothing without you. So seriously, thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope that I will see you